Hey, everybody. My name is Jess. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the program manager for customer success. As part of that, I run programs like group coaching, where we do tend to talk about affiliates a lot, whether as our dedicated topic or as we're fielding questions. So I am very excited to be here with you today to dig into that and to have some real experts alongside me. See here, Greg and Thomas, are you here?
Hello, hello.
Hello. I'm so glad to have you both here. We have so much to dig into, all the weeds to get into. But before we do that, well, one, would love to hear how you're both doing and to also hear a little bit about you both, who you are and what kind of business you're running on Teachable. Greg, do you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. Doing great, actually. Spring just kicked in, and then we had about an inch of snow this morning here in the mountains in Prescott, Arizona. So that was an awesome wake up to the second day of spring. But my name is Greg Reverdiau. I'm the co-founder of Pilot Institute. We provide online training for drone pilots and airplane pilots. We've been doing this for the last almost 5 years now. And we've been with Teachable pretty much from day one that we started the company. And we've accumulated a little over 200,000 students now in the last 5 years. And we teach students all over the world to fly drones, take FAA exam. The FAA has a written test that you have to complete as an airplane pilot and as a drone pilot. And we have several courses that help to teach that. And I'm excited to be talking about this and sharing the information that we've learned, and then hear from Thomas as well and see what he's been doing.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us in your, what sounds like maybe a quick second winter that you're getting out there. Thomas, come on up. Say hello.
Yeah, I'm Thomas Umstattd. I host the Novel Marketing Podcast. It's the longest running book marketing podcast in the world. And my courses help authors sell more books. So my big course is about platform building. So growing your email list, growing your podcast, growing your connection with readers. And then my other big course is on launching books. So how to put together a book launch plan to maximize those first 30 days. But I have quite a bit of courses on various topics related to selling more books for authors.
There's so many ins to all of that, and all the authors that I have known that launch, you are doing big work helping them out. Now, I want to get us into affiliates, but before we do that, I'd love to actually take a second to talk about your journey here on Teachable, and specifically your courses and how that's evolved over time, because you've been with us, like you both said, more than a minute now.
I started doing courses online in 2011 or 2012, I think. And there was no Teachable back then. You'll have no idea how bad it was in the olden days. And I wasn't using Udemy. We were building it all by scratch on our own WordPress instance. And it was rough. And started using it Teachable in 2016, 2017. And it does everything that I need it to do. Initially, and this is kind of funny, we were like, oh, we'll just do the free plan. And my co-host for the podcast at the time, he needed a new computer. So we're going to put together a $20 course. And our goal was to buy him a new Mac. So we put up the course and we made our $2,500 and we bought him a new Mac. And now that course has gone on to sell a lot more and the price has gone up. But initially, we weren't very ambitious. I wasn't trying to turn this into a big company. I was just trying to fund my co-host computer so he would stop having computer problems, which were annoying me to no end. So with that little start, it's now grown into quite a big operation that's helped authors all over the world and helped make a lot of affiliates a lot of money as well.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Greg?
Yeah, it's actually, interestingly, a very similar story to Thomas. I didn't really go into this to be doing this full time. I was a professor at a university, and I was looking for something to do during the summer and kind of fill in my summers when I had them off. And this grew into a pretty big business. We have over a dozen employees now full time, and then quite a few part-time people that work for us. So it's kind of exciting to see what was going to be something fun on the side became a full-time job, and then some. And but over time, what we've done is we've improved the courses by adding more content that was more than just videos and more than just text. We've created interactive content, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching that are creating online content find a point at which the students need to be involved with the course as much as possible. So we created virtual reality content is the latest thing that we've done, where you can actually interact with an aircraft and do a pre-flight of an aircraft using VR goggles, and you put those on and you're in a virtual hangar and you can do all this, and you can do this from home. So this is the kind of stuff we're trying to think outside the box to be a bit more engaging for the students, so they don't just sit there and watch a video and then do a quiz and that's it. So that's how we've evolved over the years.
Wow. And I love that for both of you, it seems like there was the initial intention, and then, wow, this really grew beyond what you had originally set out to do, and in ways that have changed your business, your life, your partner's technology, all of those bits. I think that's a nice place to actually get into affiliates, because I'm curious, how did you start to think about that initially within your course and within your school?
I can get started. For us, affiliates became kind of a no-brainer, because if you think about how you get people to your platform, you can do the SEO thing, which we're doing a lot, of course, but you also pay for ads, right? Well, affiliates are somewhat of an ad type of thing, except you only pay when you get a sale instead of paying and paying and paying, and then hopefully get a sale in the meantime. So we kind of look at it as a different way of investing into the marketing, where we help the affiliates to be successful and they do their job. And if they do it well, they get something, we get something. It's a two-way relationship, with I think is very important in business. This is a business relationship between them and us. So that's kind of how we've thought about it from day one. And I'll talk more in the later on about who we choose and all these things. But yeah, that was the beginning for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for us, we always wanted to do affiliates back in the olden days, but to build your own affiliate program has a couple of key challenges. One, you have to deal with all of the taxes of issuing the 1099s, and there's also a credibility or trust issue, right? They have to trust that you're tracking the sales correctly and that you're paying them correctly. And it's not just a matter of honesty. It's also a matter of they have to trust that your software is working, which that's, I think, even bigger trust than your trustworthiness, your honesty, right? Because it's very easy to accidentally make mistake or for the tracking to not happen. And when Teachable rolled out its integrated affiliate program, I was like, well, we got to give this a shot. And I don't remember exactly how it grew, but I remember at some point I did a single webinar that made an affiliate $10,000. It was the best hour of his life. And I'm like, wow, there's some real potential here to this platform. And it was great for me too, right? Because he brought me a bunch of new customers. He brought me a bunch of new subscribers, because everybody who comes to the affiliate webinar got on the list. And we quickly pivoted into using affiliate marketing as our either primary or secondary mechanism for getting students. So probably primary is still creating content, right? People listen to the podcast. I saw some folks in the chat who listen to the podcast. And so that's probably the number one way that people come into our courses. But maybe it's number two. Affiliates is a very effective mechanism as well, where we'll do an affiliate webinar with somebody and they'll bring their audience to our courses.
Wow, that's huge. I'm wondering too, it seems like you're referring to kind of each of you. There was a point where it kind of tipped and you felt like your business, you were ready to incorporate affiliates. Do you remember kind of roughly when that happened for you, where you were in your course building journey?
You need a course that you're willing to stand by among your peers. Mm-hmm. So in general, if you're just getting started with courses, what I recommend is doing a beta launch where you're kind of making the course as you go and you give your initial students this really big discount that's hard to do an affiliate launch for, especially if it's for your very first course, because you're going to, right, if I'm going to go to Greg, right, and he's a peer of mine, let's say, and I'm like, hey, Greg, I've got this course. I think it's really good. I've got to feel good enough about it where I'm willing to be like, hey, Greg, I think you would think that this is a good course because he makes these really professional courses. So if I'm just getting started, I'm not going to feel comfortable about that. But if I've already taken a group of beta students through the course and I've incorporated their feedback and now I feel good about the course, now I'm going to feel much more confident going to Greg and be like, hey, Greg, I've got this course. And probably at that point, I've put together the webinar, because building a good affiliate webinar is no small amount of work. It's almost like putting together a whole mini course in terms of content. But once that work's done, then the second affiliate webinar is really easy because you've created all the slides and you've thought through all the things and you've put together the template emails and all the stuff. And but yes, you have to have a course that's good enough for you to promote it to your peers.
Yeah, I will add on to that. I agree, absolutely. And I think for us, we didn't really do anything with affiliates for the first maybe 2 years at least, maybe 1 or 2 here and there, but we built a reputation on our own. And then when we had people start to come to us and saying, hey, I want to sell your course because it's getting good reviews, it's getting, recognition, then we started really thinking about, okay, now we can reach out to people that have a bit more of a pool and then bring them on board. But I feel like Thomas said, you kind of want to build something good first before you go out there. And then for us, there was also, there is the trust that the affiliate puts in you, of course, but there's also for us the trust that we put into the affiliate, making sure that when they go sell the course, that they do it the right way, because otherwise it can damage your brand. And we were pretty scared from day one that we didn't want people to just go out there to sell the course. We wanted them to do it because the course was good. And that's a difficult thing to build. That relationship is difficult to build, and trust someone to do that.
Ooh, that trust and building that and making sure that they're doing it in the right way. I want to come back to that, but can we first touch on what it means to actually find these affiliates, to identify who they are, to get them engaged, and to start building that relationship with them? Because that is so key amongst all of it from what you're saying already.
Yeah. We go online to find people that, love what they do, obviously have a passion for it, and then have the following that will allow them to push the course. And then we've actually built relationships good enough that we have invited some of them to be guest instructors on some of our courses. So we've built courses with them down the road because that relationship was so good. So I'm good friends with quite a few of our good affiliates just because they have the same value. And I think that's where you need to start. You really need to find people that are going to have the same value that you do and see the value in your course.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest piece of advice I have when it comes to finding affiliates is that it's not about finding a lot of affiliates. I think that's a mistake that's easy to make. It's like, I want to go get a whole bunch of affiliates. You don't need a whole bunch of affiliates. You need a handful of really good affiliates. And my top 5 affiliates sell more than all the other affiliates put together. In fact, top 2 probably outsell all the other affiliates together. And I guess you can put affiliates into 2 categories. One is like near competitors. So let's say Greg, he's got a drone flying course. A near competitor might be an airplane flying course, right? Somebody's getting their pilot's license, but they want to add drone flying. They're really into it, but the pilot school they're going to, they don't believe in drones. They hate drones. They think drones are the worst thing to happen to airplanes, right? But they're like, well, we can recommend Greg, right? If fine, you want to learn how to fly a drone, the best guy to go to is Greg, right? And they maybe they're ambivalent and they're like, hey, we're not really into doing this ourselves, but we're happy to recommend Greg's drone flying course. And so they do a webinar together, some kind of promotion together. So that's one kind of affiliate. And I found the best way to find that kind of affiliate is to host a podcast and have them on as a guest. So I've had all of my competitors on as guests on one of my podcasts. Well, not all of them, but many of them. and we promote their stuff. And I'm not getting affiliate commission typically. Sometimes they'll be so thankful. They'll be like, oh, can I add you to my affiliate programs? There's affiliate money going both ways sometimes. But sometimes it's just promoting their course, right? I have an author on to talk about how to write more compelling characters. And they've got a course on writing compelling characters, and I may promote them. And more often than not, that's where it ends. But it begins the relationship, and sometimes it leads to more calls and more hanging out, and we get to know each other. And the other thing that I did that was really helpful is I put together a mastermind group, a for free, invite-only mastermind group, only for other people who are making courses for authors in our particular niche. And so we meet once a month and we're just chit-chatting and we share ideas, and some people are on Teachable, some people are on the other platforms, and we're sharing what's working, what's not working. And we're like, oh, and by the way, I've got a course launch coming up in 6 months or 5 months or whatever. And if anybody wants to be an affiliate, I'm happy to do a promotion. And the more focused you are in your course, the easier it is to get referrals from a near peer. So if Greg also taught how to fly a DC-6 airplane, I don't know if that's a real airplane, but right, the DC-6 airplane teacher isn't going to want to send him drone students, because now he's losing those students, because if they really like Greg and he does a really good job, now they've lost their pilot students. But if he just does drones, then the pilot school is more comfortable referring. So the other temptation is, I'm going to teach all the things to all the people. And that actually makes it harder to do affiliates, not easier. So the more narrowly focused you are, the better. But the second category, and this is where I've gotten some of my best affiliates actually, is people who aren't in the affiliate game at all. My second best affiliate is this lady. She's in her 80s. She used to run some writers' conferences, and her husband is very sick. He has dementia, and she's had to stop running the writers' conferences to take care of her husband. And she has this massive email list of all of the authors who've been coming to her writers' conferences for the last 20 years. That she emails regularly, but doing online events and stuff. And so she's like, hey, can I do a webinar with you? And I'm like, yeah, and by the way, it's affiliate. You can get some money. She's like, oh, I've never done that. How does that work? So I explained to her how this affiliate program works. And we do a webinar. It's a huge success. She makes thousands of dollars. And I've never felt better making money for an affiliate than I did for her, because she's stuck at home taking care of a husband who's really sick. And now she's got money that for her was very low effort, right? She sent a few emails based off some templates I sent her. She introduced me at the webinar, and at the end we answered some questions. And now she's got thousands of dollars that she wouldn't have had otherwise. And she's not in the game, right? She's not a digital internet marketer type, but she had a lot to offer, and she had a lot of credibility with her audience. And so think about that kind of person related to your topic, somebody who's maybe not a very online person, but they do have an online presence and a following there. They might make for a really good affiliate.
Yeah. And I love how you tied almost the acquisition and the engagement together, with the podcast, with the webinars. That's part of it's not just an affiliate ask. You're giving them a stage as well to participate with you. Greg, how do you engage your affiliates?
We give them as much information as possible to push the course, and I think that's key to give them everything they can to be successful. And then sometimes we have special events that happen, and we or we have a special promo like Black Friday, and then we reach out to them early, and we kind of try to devise a strategy of how to push it. We try not to be pushy with the sell, and I think that's a key. Because people don't want to be force-fed, the actual sale of the course. So it's always kind of organic, and we try to make it as organic as possible. And so tie it down to maybe a video creator on YouTube, and then they can mention the course as part of the topic of the video they're building. So that's kind of an important thing for us. I will add to the list of what Thomas was saying, the two types that he has. One of the type also that we work with, and I don't know if you can consider them affiliates. I call them resellers of the course, where it's a business to business, and then they're kind of a middleman that's going to sell to other people. And we have quite a few of these, and these relationships work really well as well. So it's something else for people to think about. I'm sure it depends on your industry as well, but in our case, we have a lot of people. Thomas was saying you may have someone that either doesn't want to do the work and sends you the business because you've done it long enough and you have the credibility, and they don't want to reinvent the wheel. And we have a lot of people like this. So we've built our reputation in the industry so that people come to us and basically said, well, you guys are always coming as recommended for this kind of training. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. You guys do it. It's cheap enough that we don't have to worry about doing that. So we do get quite a bit of business that way as well.
And Greg, do you give free access to your course or courses to your affiliates, like during that
I do.
courtship phase?
I do.
Yeah.
And I believe that's very important because they need to know what they're selling. They need to know that the course is good. And we've had people reach out to us and we've said no because all they were interested was having a link somewhere without taking the course. And I said, no, you need to be familiar with what we're selling because you're pushing the product. It's a quality thing. I mean, it really is a no-brainer to me.
It's a big turnoff. Obviously I have a podcast, so I have people approaching me being like, "Hey, I want to promote. I want you to be an affiliate for my thing." And I remember one time a pretty notable person reaches out, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I want access to the course. I want to see if this is something I can promote in good conscience." And they're like, "Oh no, you have to buy it." I'm like, or the cart wasn't even open. They weren't even giving me access. And I'm like, "Nope." I'm done. It's like,
no, it's a bad relationship.
My reputation I've been working on for 10 years. I'm not going to risk it on some course I haven't tried. And so I think this is a pitfall is you get real stingy, right? Like this course is worth so much money. Why would it doesn't cost you any money to give somebody access. And if they've gone through it and they're like, I was out with my drone and I didn't realize I was doing these things wrong. And I took Greg's course and I finally realized, push the blue button instead of the red button. And now, these are terrible examples, Greg. I'm sorry, but I don't know much about drones. but that authentic endorsement from somebody who's actually gone through the course is so much more valuable, and it costs you so little to give them that access.
And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, which is damaging your brand because you have people that are pushing the course just to push the course. You had mentioned, Thomas, earlier that fewer affiliate is better than more. At one point we had been approached by someone that said, well, should you give all your students the affiliate link and allow them to be all affiliates? And I immediately said no. I said, no, this is not, I don't want them to be pushing the course to push the course. I want them to recommend it to other people because it's good. And that's different. And we can arrange something to help them if they push the course a lot. But otherwise, I think it's a bad idea to have every student be an affiliate.
Mm-hmm. I want to come back to that in just a moment. But before we move along to the how many affiliates and the B2B that you brought up, Greg, you also touched on something, which is the long tail relationship with affiliates, because we've talked about it as a relationship and nurturing that over time. And in addition to, contacting them when it's Black Friday or there's a good moment to push things, are there other strategies you use to kind of keep these people close to you, keep that relationship alive, even when it's not sell-in time?
Yes, I think year-long, we just try to do events with them and create videos for them. We also try to push their content because a lot of them also have their own business or their own, even if it's a YouTube channel, when they put out a good video, we mention it in our videos, and that's just a reciprocal type of thing. And I think as long as you make that relationship about more than just money, right? That relationship is more than just exchanging money and allowing them to sell your course and make money from your course. I have an affiliate that I think has more Pilot Institute shirts that I have, and I've told him, I said, I will send you the shirts for free, and he keeps buying them. He sends me photos. He's oh, look, I just got a new hat. I said, just tell me, I'll send it to you for free. No, he wants to, and that's like the best kind of affiliate you can have. He's the guy that goes to every trade show and walks around with my shirt instead of his company shirt as he's walking on the floor because he's proud to be an affiliate. So when you can get to that level, these are the people that you take care of. And we're at the point now where he's going to come and help us at some of the show. And I said, how much do you want to charge me to come help? And he said, just tell me what you want to pay me. I know that it will be the right amount and I don't have to worry about it. And that's, to me, that's big. These are the relationship where if you only have 5 or 10 affiliates, you can build these relationships. We get new shirts or we get new swag. We send it to them so they have it. And sometimes they have it first before we even have it. And then they can display it and they get proud. They post it on social media. And so, yeah, that's, to me, it's building a personal relationship really with them.
Mm-hmm. These are people you're talking to on the phone. These are people you're having Zoom calls with. This is not hey, I'm going to send an email to all 12 of you at the same time. This is, I'm going to talk to you individually. I'd be very cautious with shuffling them off with your assistant and be like, all right, my assistant's going to take it from here. Right. This is a high importance person to your business and to you personally, and that relationship is really important. So if they have an assistant, you can have your assistant talk to their assistant, but you don't have your assistant talk to them. You talk to them. You answer their emails. You treat them with respect because they are important, and what they bring to you is important. And if you have so many affiliates that the idea of talking to them on a Zoom call or answering their emails yourself is too many, I think that's a red flag. And you can go to Teachable and you can sort by, affiliates and how much money, how many sales they get. And you'll very quickly see, oh, this top half is the one I want to focus on. So you'll have affiliates and they're right, their audience isn't a good fit or their list isn't very big, and you don't have to keep doing promotions with those people.
Yeah. So then let's talk about that a little bit. At any average moment, how many affiliates are you collaborating with? Roughly.
We have 250 in our system that are active, but like Thomas said, your top probably 10 for us are going to be doing more than the other 240. So yes, we do work with a lot of them, but the ones that bring the most yield are going to be 10 of them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. So we have 31 affiliates in our system, but it's the top 6 or so that are bringing in the majority of the revenue. And those are the 6 to 12 that we'll do a webinar with. Because what I found for courses, affiliate webinars are the best way to sell, because it gives the potential student a chance to hear your voice, see your face, and kind of get a taste of what you have to teach. Because a course is a big purchase, and it's expensive in terms of not just money, but also in terms of time, right? This isn't asking them to watch a 2-hour movie. This is them asking, homework and lots of stuff, right? Especially if it's a big ticket course. And so they need that taste. And so for me to do a webinar with somebody, that's a time commitment on both of our parts, right? They've got to show up. I've got to show up. They got to bring their audience, got to do the pre-stuff and the follow-up stuff. And so it's got to be worth that investment.
That makes sense. And within these kind of select affiliates, are any of these B2B? Because it seems like those are a different relationship and potentially a different strategy.
Yeah, it is. And for me, I don't even count them as affiliates. I do count them as resellers, because that's what they do. They resell the course. We provide them with a volume discount, and then they help us. They're really like additional employees that go out there and sell the course for us and then make a profit off of it. So these are typically contract based. We have a contract that we establish with them. It's very simple. We'll give you the course at this price, and you can resell it up to this price, and then just let us know when you have the students. We'll invoice you, and it really is a simple relationship because of Teachable. I have to say, Teachable makes it really easy to import people automatically into the software. So we do have quite a few of these all over, from the educational side of things, from the public safety side of things, that do that for us. So I would say, think about who's out there that would potentially benefit in reselling your course and in their space. Not a competitor, obviously, but someone who can be supplemental to what you do.
Yeah, I'm actually just in talks with a publishing company right now who is considering buying my courses bulk to send their authors through it. So this wouldn't really be an affiliate arrangement because the authors aren't paying for it. The company would be buying them bulk, but it's similar. And in some ways it's even easier than affiliates because it's skipping all the drama with the webinar and the emails. It's like, here, you are required to go through this course on book launching before we launch your book, right? So in that way, it's adjacent and a real potential source of new students, but with even less work. But it's all about that relationship building, right? No one's going to buy 100 units of your course if they don't already know you, like you, and trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm wondering, beyond a contract, are there any other kinds of buffers, communication, expectations that you need to set that's different from your average affiliate when it's a B2B situation?
Yeah, I think you have to be extremely responsive with them because they are representing a customer, and the customer may not know that you're in the picture, because they resell the course maybe as part of a package. So they're contracting you to provide a service. That's the way I look at it. So we're going to be as responsive as we can to make them look good to their customer, because everybody's reputation is on the line. So that's something we pay close attention to. When they send us a list of students to put in, we put in within an hour of getting the email because we know it's a priority for them. And we quite often actually get that comment of saying, "Wow, it's already in here," and we're like, "Yeah, that's what we do. Take care of it."
And it's important to make sure that the support people at that B2B company are in contact with your support people, because a student from the webinar can't log into their Teachable account. And instead of emailing me, they may email my webinar partner, because that's who they have the relationship with initially. So they're like, "John Doe, I can't log into my account, help." And that person needs to know how to get in touch with me so I can either help them or connect them with Teachable support. Because that if that experience is a bad experience and it's already starting off on the wrong foot because they're asking the wrong person, which means that there's going to be inevitable delays as goes down the chain. If that's a bad customer support experience, it reflects badly on that affiliate, and they're very jealous for their reputation. On the flip side, if it's a really good experience and they got the white glove treatment, now suddenly they have a customer who's really happy that referral happened. And so in some ways, I try to give all of my students white glove customer support, but if they go through an affiliate, it's like even more pressure because I want to prove to that affiliate, it's like, hey, I'm a good steward of this credibility that you've lent me.
That's huge. That's huge. Now, pivoting a little bit into, for those who are working on their affiliate program, getting it off the ground, if they have a network of affiliates, but they're not, seeing the return that they would like, do you have any tips on how to motivate and get those affiliates out there working and selling?
Help them be successful, I would say. Give them everything that they can to promote your class, and give them the ads that you're about to run, maybe the coupons that you're about to run, the features. Work with them to create content that they can push to their side, and then maybe even offer a live stream or one-on-one to help them grow and go from there.
So I have a story on this. We are in the process of doing our annual book launch blueprint. And so I'm reaching out to the affiliates. And one of our affiliates we had a good webinar with last year. We reached out and he's like, I don't know. I kind of want to do this every other year. I'm not really that interested this year. So it kind of gave us a no. And so separately, I'm going through and I found this page on Teachable. It's under sales statements, and it lets you see the actual payments that have gone out to your affiliates, and importantly, whether or not they were actually deposited or not. And I saw that a bunch of my affiliates weren't getting their payments deposited. They were being listed as pending, which means they probably didn't put in their bank account or they didn't put their tax info. So I started sending them, hey, there's money for you. You just need to finish filling out your account. Log into your Teachable account, click next, type in some numbers. Really easy email to send. Well, and it turns out that this guy who was giving us the snow was one of those people. In fact, he had 5 digits of, or four or 5 digits of affiliate commissions that he had never received. It's like, oh, well, no wonder he wasn't very interested. He had never gotten any money from last year. And so suddenly he's got a whole year's worth of affiliate payments dumped into his account. And he's like, so can I do a webinar? the no suddenly was a yes. He was eager to do the webinar. And this is one of those real easy things. Everybody overlooks it. So they don't know that they didn't get paid because they don't have access to your Teachable dashboard. They have a affiliate dashboard, but they're probably not logging into it because they're busy doing their own thing. And just making sure that they actually get the money really makes it easier the next time around. Because to make it in the course business, it's all about your reputation. It's about your reputation with your students, them finishing your course and passing the test if it's for a drone or having a successful book launch or whatever it is, right? The promises that you make on the sales page, you got to deliver on those promises. And if you do that, you build up a reputation, and it's about the long game. It's not about a flash in the pan, big webinar, lots of advertising, make a lot of money, and then run off to the hills. That's not the way to do it. And so maintaining that reputation is really key. I think that's my theme for this. Affiliates is all about reputation.
It is. It is. It's funny. I just logged into that statement that you mentioned, and I see one of my affiliate hasn't been getting his payment, so I'm going to reach him when we're done. And I will add to that. And I think you mentioned it, Thomas, a little bit earlier about making sure that the affiliates get their payment and that you don't have to get your hands into it and get involved with it. That's a big feature from Teachable, obviously. And we had somebody that came to us and said, I've been with this other competitor for a while, and they always mess up the affiliate. Sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't, and I'm done with it. And that's how we got them. And they ended up being one of our top 5. And I'm glad they did. And just because of that. So keep that in mind that, like you said, Thomas, maybe you have somebody that doesn't want to work with you right now because they're not getting their payment. So be sure to go check on that.
That's right. And this is one of the strengths of the Teachable platform, is that both affiliate payments and author royalties, if you have a co-author for a course, that money never hits my account in my bank account. And since it never hits my bank account, I never have to report it to the government. So there's all kinds of money that floats around the economy that doesn't hit my bank account. I only have to report my money. And so the fact that I don't have to report the affiliate money, I don't have to report, all the other money that, for authors and for taxes and VAT, it really reduces the friction of running a course. Because if you're just selling to people in your own state, it's not a big deal, right? You file with your sales tax. But the more states and the more countries you add, it gets really complicated really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning the ease of all that back end. And I agree. There's nothing quite like saying, hey, buddy, you have some money waiting for you, as a easy motivator, that kind of give instead of it being an ask. I'm curious, though, along these lines, when you're going back to your affiliates, if they don't have a payout pending, is there some kind of common thing that you find yourself needing to offer to them as a resource, as a bit of content, just something like that?
One thing related to that I found effective, and I encourage all of you to be an affiliate for other courses. If for no other reason, it'll make you money, which is nice, but it will also help you understand what it's like to be on the other side of that relationship, and it will give you much better context for the concerns that an affiliate may have. And one concern is, I'm losing a customer, right? Or this opportunity is being handed off to somebody else. And something I found that was really effective is for near peer or near competitor affiliates. In the webinar, they will offer their low ticket item, right, their $30 course or their $50 course for free for everyone who signs up by, Friday or whatever. And the result of that is that now every sign up ends up being a customer for both of us. And now that affiliate webinar and all the energy going into the promotion is also getting somebody into their funnel. And now they have a double motivation. Yes, they're getting paid, and it's great to get paid for an affiliate commission. But now that student's off on a journey of flying drones, and they may never come back. But if they're, getting that, and they're getting their course on, I don't know, how to get through the airport fast or whatever, now they're in your system as well, and there's a chance they may buy your other things. And so they don't have to do that. Not everyone has enough kind of material, right? If somebody just has the one course, they don't want to give away the one course for free. But if they have a low ticket item, that can help. So that's one way to help. Sometimes, though, I don't know how you are, Greg, it's like if they weren't a big affiliate last year, I may not pursue them all that much this year, because if their market's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. I'm not here to sell stuff to people who don't want it. There's enough authors who are desperate to sell more books. Here's a good example. A fellow course creator, and she teaches courses for authors on how to do courses and how to create digital products. And she's like, my audience is authors. Let's do some webinars together. Her audience, already knows the book side. They're not interested in learning how to market books. Typically, by the time you're wanting to sell a course on your nonfiction book, it's because your book was already successful in selling. And if your book didn't sell, you don't want to make a course about it. And so her audience, just not a great fit for my stuff. And that's fine, right? My audience is probably better fit for her stuff, right? And so understanding that, I'm not going to try to squeeze blood out of a stone and pester her and try to put together just the perfect email so that maybe now you'll want to do an affiliate webinar with me. It's like, if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think I have anything else to add to that.
Well, before we get into questions from our audience, we've talked about many of the things that it takes to do an affiliate program right. That trust building, that relationship building, the collaboration. But looking at the other side of the coin, what do you think people get wrong when it comes to affiliate marketing?
I think trying to make everyone an affiliate kind of goes back to what I said earlier with, trying to make every single one of your students an affiliate. I think instead what you should try to do is make every single one of your students somebody that wants to recommend the course because it's good without getting any financial incentive from it. And that's a difficult thing to do because that's your product talking. But I'm proud to say that I think we've gotten to the point now where our students talk about the course and refer to other people. And it's a big portion of our the way that customers get to us. So we can get rid of doing advertising because our students are our little army out there talking about the course and selling it for us. That's a great place to be in, but it takes time.
I'll say one mistake we made early is we didn't have good affiliate resources. We were expecting our affiliates to write all of the emails promoting the webinar, follow-up emails from scratch with no help from us. And some affiliates who are really good at this and they're really in the game and they're savvy, they're going to do that because they know how to contextualize the message for their audience. But most people are really busy and hopefully they'll never copy and paste what we give them, but they want to start from something other than a blank page because starting from a blank page is really annoying. And I know it's annoying because we didn't want to do it, right? It was work for us to create those template emails, but we're creating template emails that we're sharing with multiple people when we're expecting them to create it especially for themselves from scratch. And so going through the work of putting together a Google Doc that's here's email 1, here's email 2, here's email 3, and make sure to be real clear. You don't have to send all these emails, right? This is to help you, not to be a burden. We're not trying to put rocks on your back. We're trying to take rocks out of your backpack. And doing that, which was a hassle, but now it's done. And now we have it for next year. And another kind of tip along those lines is, again, if you're giving the affiliates a white glove treatment, you can actually, instead of giving them the generic document where it's like, insert your link here, you can copy that to a document and you actually put in their affiliate links and their tracking links into the email. And Teachable allows you to do this. So when you go to an affiliate's page on Teachable, you scroll down, it's got a link builder, which Teachable did not always have. I used to have to parse the links by hand and put the little question mark and the equal sign and all that by hand. And I never knew if I got it right. And the coupon code, I love the new link builder. Fruit basket to the dev who built that. So it's, 6-hour projects save me so much stress. But you go in and so let's say you're inviting people to a webinar. Well, you copy the URL for the webinar, you paste it into their link builder on their page, you click generate, and it will output the tracking link to the webinar. And then that's the link that you put into the template email that you send them. And the same for the sales page, right? Here's your affiliate link. And doing just that little extra step helps make it easier for them. The downside, though, is that now they're not going into their Teachable dashboard because they don't need to generate their links, which means they're more likely to have not set up their bank account because you don't have to have the bank account info inputted to become an affiliate, which is right? I don't want to make somebody jump through a bunch of hoops if they're never going to get any money, but then it's more likely. And I suspect this is why I probably have more pending payments than you do, Greg, because our people aren't logging into their Teachable dashboards to see, $5,000. Just type in your bank and your tax info and it'll get deposited into your account next week. You won't see it if you don't log in to see it.
Interesting.
Feels like a good case for that, like 1 month later reminder to go out to the affiliate, like, dear friend, please make sure you even put in your tax information. so we can pay you. Oh, amazing. Okay, y'all. Let's get into some Q&A because we have only, I think, about 15 minutes left. And let's see here. Before I grab one from the Q&A, I actually wanted to ask a question real quick about how often do you do these affiliate webinars?
Typically I only do them around like a cart open. So one of our courses we do in a cohort model. So everybody does day 1 together, everyone does day 2 together. So we have a window of a month or 2 before the course starts, which is where we're doing all of our affiliate webinars. I find it's easier for my mind to kind of have promo student acquisition mode and student thrilling mode because it's a lot of work to do the webinars and to answer student questions, right? So you do a webinar and, you know, even though you have a Q&A afterwards, everyone really wants to email you their question privately afterwards. And so there's lots of back and forth with the students as you're getting them onboarded. And that is a lot of effort. That's very different effort from recording a new session or making a new module for my course. So I like to try to separate it. I imagine as you have a bigger team, so Greg's team's bigger than mine. So I'm curious, Greg, if you're able to, if you have a more ongoing or do you do semesters, how do you do it?
We actually become more and more selective about the affiliates we work with now. So it's pretty much a 1-to-1 training that we do with them when we select someone. We get a lot of requests every day. I deny a lot of them and explain to them why. Mostly it's because their following numbers are not high enough, and you know, we know from experience that they're not going to generate sales, so it's difficult to spend the time with them. So the larger ones will go and spend time one-on-one. So I don't do webinars with groups of people to do that.
Makes sense. Okay, questions coming in. So kind of on a tactical front, do you have a suggested percentage of sale to your affiliates that you recommend or have the greatest success with?
I have some rules of thumb here that I'll give you. There's a temptation to go with 50% because half of the work is getting the customer. But you have to realize that your 50% includes all the taxes and Teachable fees and platform fees. And so you're not actually getting 50%. You're getting, because they are getting a 50% off of the gross and you're getting 50% off of the net. And so this is an important thing to keep in mind, especially if you have a course with both affiliates and authors. So if you have an author who's getting a percentage, they're getting a percentage off the gross, and the affiliate's getting a percentage off the gross. And if you're only keeping 25%, all of those credit card fees and whatnot and taxes are hitting your slice of it. And so you need to keep into account all of those fees as you're putting together your financial projections. And you need the affiliates to be motivated. It needs to be worth it for them. There needs to be enough meat on the bones for them to want to be your affiliate, for them to want to wear your shirt at the trade show, right? That's a guy who's getting very well paid to be an affiliate, right? He's a well-fed affiliate, and that's why he's happy to wear your stuff and to buy your shirt, right? Because he's making lots of money promoting your stuff, spending $25 here on a shirt and $50 there on a hat's no big deal. And so this is why being an affiliate's really valuable, because it helps you get an idea of, in your market and in your category, what is motivating for you, right? What would you need to get from a course creator to make it worth it? And I think that this really depends. There's some in the teaching marketing to people who are teaching marketing to people who are teaching marketing space, right? Because that spiral spins. There's people who do 100% affiliates, right? They're just trying to get emails on the list. And so, and they'll do that on a big ticket course, like it's a $500 course, but they'll partner with somebody with a 500,000 person list. And that's how they launch their career, is with 100% affiliate. You don't see that in teaching knitting or teaching drones or something in the real world, like something physical. You'd never see that.
Well, I think it all depends on the market, obviously, because it depends how competitive it is to get in. For them to, advertise It all depends on the price of the course. We have courses that are as low as $50, but we have courses that are $400 where they can actually make a percentage of $400. Then it becomes a lot more attractive than if your course is $20 and you give them 20% of $20 as opposed to 20% of $500, and it makes a big difference for them every time they sell a course. So, when I look at our catalog, we have 40 some courses available, and our affiliates are not limited to one course. If they sell one course, it doesn't matter what topic it is on the platform, they make money off of that. So we have like $2,500 or $3,000 worth of courses. If one person bought all of our courses, it would be about $3,000. So that gives them the ability to make quite a bit of money. And a lot of our courses can also upsell. So that's the way we've designed the business. So for the affiliate, it makes sense. They have the ability to sell multiple courses and make quite a bit of money. So the percentage may not have to be as high as 50%. And so I don't know that there's a magic number. I think it really depends on the industry and depends on how competitive it is to get in to advertise. If they're going to decide to advertise, what's going to be the point where it makes sense for them to do this for you.
Another thing we found really effective is we actually let affiliates pick their affiliate rate to a certain degree. So some affiliates have like a paid program, right? And they've got students who are paying to be a part of their membership or something. And they actually will sometimes choose to have a lower percentage and a special exclusive to their students discount, right? So, being a part of our program gives you this discount on this course. And so it allows them to add value. And this goes back to actually just to your earlier question, how do you incentivize affiliates? This is one way, right? Somebody's got a membership and they do this with a bunch of partners. And, you join my membership for $50 a month and it gives you $1,000 worth of discounts on these 5 different courses from these 5 related things. And you'd be surprised when you give people the choice. They often will discount their percentage. And it's the same to me, right? So it's the same money. It's just whether it goes to the student or goes to the affiliate. But they'll often choose a surprisingly high discount for the student given the option.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I want to get into another B2B question, a couple actually, related to this. For B2B reseller, do you offer like a volume discount only or any other percentage discounts?
So
Greg, I'm going to kick this to you because I'm still negotiating my first one.
we do a volume discount, and it's 2 layers. It depends on how many licenses you're going to sell, and then we let them sell the course at whatever price they want. But I always put a caveat on this, and I tell them if you're going to try to sell it for more than we do, then you're going to probably send sales directly to us and then lose the affiliate sale. So they all understand that on the B2B side because it's a business and they're business savvy. So we let them package it. So that's how they can sell it for more, is if they add value to it. So they'll add for the drone course, they may actually add a drone to it because they're drone resellers. So they add it as a value added. And so then we let them price it whichever way they want. But it's always a win-win situation because the volume discount for us, we would have given it to that customer possibly at a volume discount as well. So I don't give them a specific discount in addition to that. I just give them guidance on how to price it and make sure they don't try to price themselves outside of what we do.
It's an important part of that trust building, showing that you have their back. Again, on the topic of B2B, you mentioned the contract. How do you go about creating that agreement when in that reseller situation?
It depends on who you deal with. So we deal with some maybe a university, for example, that's going to have legal and they're going to want to draft a contract. I hate drafting contracts. This is something that I did in a previous life with my previous job of managing flight schools, and I never really enjoyed it too much. So typically we let them send us something, we review it because it's more of a requirement from them than it is from us. If any time that I can go without a contract, where I just we have an email where we say we're going to give you the course at this much, and you should not sell it for more than this. That's really all we need on our side, and we've been doing this for a while, and it's never been an issue. I don't really see where there could be any kind of issue in addition to just having this contract. So we try to keep it as simple as we can. We did have one university one time, it's kind of a funny story, that just came back with this boilerplate contract that they had taken from another project that they had been working on. And we read through 9 pages of contract only to realize that only about 2 pages of it were going to apply to us. And I sent it back, and I basically crossed off everything and sent it back. I think they had half a heart attack when they saw that. I've worked in the university environment for a long time. It's usually buried in red tape, and it's always driven me nuts. So now that I have my own company, we have a no red tape policy here. We try to do everything as efficiently and smoothly as we can, and that reflects in the contract, and it's been working fine. So
one of the nice things about this business is that it's a high margin business, right? So unlike somebody selling a drone, there's real cost to that drone, right? You got to source the parts, or maybe they're buying it wholesale. When I'm giving somebody access to a course, the cost to me to give them that course, the marginal cost is pretty low. And so I find that often it's easier to just refund. Like, I don't fight folks or try to lock them in with contracts. It's like, if you're unhappy or whatever, just refund. And I don't have any legal advice to give, but it's one of the advantages of this business is that since there's no hard costs, if you have to, pull back because there's been a break in the relationship or something, you can do that without losing significant money.
Makes sense. Okay, y'all, we have just a few more minutes, but I want to get to at least a couple more questions. We had somebody asking if you have thoughts on using affiliate relationships to help launch a new brand or previously beta tested course.
Interesting.
I did do this, but it was only with affiliates who'd already successfully promoted my other more established course. So we had the book launch blueprint, and then I later added the Obscure No More, the platform building course. So I actually did a few affiliate webinars for the initial beta launch of Obscure No More. And we were very transparent about, hey, this is beta, get the special discount. At first, there's going to be no sessions because I'm going to record them, as we go. And that was very successful. But it was only successful because their audience already knew me because we'd already done webinars with them before. And that affiliate already knew me because I'd already done webinars with him before. So I think approaching a brand new person with a brand new course that no one has ever taken before, no.
Dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah, we've done something slightly different. We've used current students to test some of the courses. So we have a Facebook group with, I think, 18,000 students in it. And then I put a message and I say the first 10 that want to test this upcoming course, give us some feedback, then the course is yours. And it's worked really well because the students will go, because they're proud, they've been selected, they go through it and they give you amazing feedback. And then we get to fix it before we actually go live. So that works really well. We're releasing an app, and we did the same thing. So I said, we're releasing this new app and I need some people to test it. And I had 20 people within an hour that just wanted to help us and then get early access to the stuff because it's cool. So that worked really well. I think better than affiliate. I would be more careful with the doing that with affiliates.
Yeah, maybe they're not the first pass at everything. Maybe you get the closer crew and then affiliates as a way, like, again, with the theme of trust building, relationship building, that they can still have an early peak, but once you work some things out.
Now, I will add this: if you have a product that you're selling or something where you're trying to create a buzz and you know that the product is good and you want to give them early access so they have it and they can talk about it, then that's different. We see this in the drone space with drone companies that come up with new drones and they send them to us so that we can review them a couple of weeks ahead, create videos on day of the launch. Then we have a video ready. It's free advertising for them. It's good publicity for us. That's a good two-way relationship as an affiliate or as an influencer, whatever you want to call it. But I would definitely recommend doing that so you get a buzz around what you're doing.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. I know we just hit time, but if it's all right, I'm going to squeeze in one last question for you and I'm going to say it's a quick one. You'll let me know if I'm wrong on that. We've touched on numbers in terms of the kind of following some of your affiliates have. Is there a baseline or kind of a general, like, how many follower numbers do you look for with an affiliate?
I think it depends on your space because some spaces, 100,000 followers may not be much, and 1 million might be a whole lot, or even 1,000 might be a lot in some spaces. So for me, I try to look in the 6-digit, at least having 100,000 followers. I'm hoping that at least they have more followers than we do, just so that they have a bigger impact than we do. And so that's kind of my baseline. But like I said, I think it depends on the space that you're in. Drone space is pretty popular, so 100,000 is a good number. It's not super, super high, but it's also not very, very low.
We don't look at social numbers at all. So the novel marketing method for book launching doesn't actually use social media, and we don't promote our courses on social media. It's almost entirely social media free method. So all we look at is email list size. And for us to consider an affiliate, at least 4 digits. And 5 digits is better for the email list. But if they've got 4 digits, or if they have a really loyal audience, we'll give them a shot. Because one of the things I found is it wasn't the lady that I shared with the husband with dementia. Her list was good, but it wasn't huge. But the people on her list love her. Mm-hmm. She's been so generous to that email list for so long that they trust her so much, and so it's. I think it can be easy to get dazzled with numbers. Oh, someone's got a big following on social media, but their engagement's not high. They're not getting clicks, right? Most of those people are bots, as opposed to somebody else who's got 3,000 followers on an email, but the people love her and they come to her events every week and they'll click on all her things. And so, this is hard to negotiate, right? And it's always nervous, like you're comparing numbers, like, oh, well, I have such and such, right? Everybody uses their own email list as like the benchmark for what they see is good. I will say I have a free podcast episode on affiliate marketing for authors. So if it's not for course creators, but it talks about affiliates both for the author side and for the being an affiliate for courses and stuff. So I posted a link to that in the chat if any of y'all want more from me on affiliates. It's just a free podcast episode on novel marketing.
Ooh, thank you.
I like what you just said. I like what you just said. I just want to finish with this, Thomas, with the number of followers. You're right. It is not the only number you should be looking at. We see a lot of people that have 100,000 followers, but then you start looking at comments and they get 2 comments per video, and they don't get the views. So you have to look at engagement. You have to see if the people that are commenting on there are actually a true following, or if it's just bots that they bought from some country. And we see a lot of that. So be careful with just using a single number.
If you want to be famous, I know a guy. For $50, he can make you famous. You want millions? We make you millions.
Yep.
He's got the best bot army in Texas.
I love it. I feel like that actually brings us kind of full circle to it's about relationships. Even your affiliates, you want them to have relationships with any of the people that are following them, engaging with them. And on that, thank you both for the last hour. Thank you both for staying a little bit over. Your insights are so helpful and appreciate you both.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Live long and prosper.